Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. Hello! Did you miss us? Because we missed you big time. We were just chatting about how much we missed you. So thank you so much for, joining us again. Today, I feel like I need to say, this is Felicia, just for anyone who's forgotten. I have the lovely Tawny.
Yes, and this is Tawny.
And today we are talking about Piggy from 2022. I do want to pre-apologize to Tawny and to everyone listening to this particular episode if you hear my children at all. It is hot in Arizona, and this morning we got a pool, like an above ground pool that we built, and so the kids are playing in the pool, and it's going to be impossible for me to ask them to be quiet.
That's fair. That's fair. I didn't realize
I would, but there's no way.
You didn't make it sound like it was that new. Like you got it today.
Oh, it arrived today. I sent Tawny a picture. I sent you a picture right as we were done building it.
Yeah.
Brand spanking new. So, and she has her little friends over. And so it's going to be impossible. It's over 100 here. So,
oh my fucking God, dude. It's hot up here. And it's like not nearly that hot. It's probably like high 70s.
Oh my gosh. That sounds amazing.
It's great. I love it.
That sounds gorgeous. Oh my gosh. We'll get into that. Before we get into all of that, Tawny, what are you drinking?
I have a Truly. I got a little pack of Trulies because it's a, summer drink. And they updated their like punch pack, which I had been drinking last summer and probably the summer before that. And it's better because they put like real fruit juice. It's like a little less sweet, which is nice because sometimes these get a little, they're a little bit on the sweet side, especially the punch pack. So it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one thing with Truly I couldn't get really into is like, I don't like the sweet. Oh my gosh. I got their like margarita pack.
Oh yeah.
It was disgusting. I had to throw it away.
Yeah. So I don't know. Gross. I still don't know if that you would like these. It's not a big difference, but it's small enough, I think, for me to like it better, but that's understandable.
Yeah. And if you're not watching on YouTube, you should go look at the video because Tawny's light is sick. Your lighting is really good.
We were talking about
a new house.
Yeah, the house. It's so bright. I think I said this last time. And this isn't the first episode. We did one episode right before I left. And so I don't remember if I talked about it or not, but like I'm right by this window and I specifically set up my desk to be right by the window because I just like the natural light coming in and I just get fucking blasted with sun all day and I love it. It's so bright in here. I never turn on my big light because it's so bright in here.
Nice.
It's awesome. And I wanted to put up my pictures today, but I got overwhelmed. I looked at all my pictures and I was like trying to figure out how to plan a gallery wall. And I just was like, I fucking can't. I just left it. So like you can't see, but behind me on the floor are all my pictures just like laying there. I got to figure out how to like plan to do that in a good way, but I'm very intimidated.
Yeah, I right here have all my pictures, the ones you got me, all these picture frames over here. And but see, I have this, but I was thinking when I hang the pictures, I might do them on this wall and maybe I'll switch my camera around here. So
you can see them.
Yeah, I'm still in front of the window, but you'll be able to see this wall over here and I'll put my horror pictures up over there.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Now you see my horse, which I'm absolutely obsessed with this picture.
That horse is great.
You can only see her nose, but
yeah. Also not relevant.
Yeah, there you go. I am drinking. I love these beers. They are, that's right. I have as a follow-up the Orange Blossom beer.
Smart.
In case. And so it's Papago, Orange Blossom, Mandarin Wheat.
Oh, God, that sounds good.
It's so good. It's an Arizona beer. It's not overly sweet. It's just this, these are my fave. And so when I went to buy those, I thought of trying these. They're called Cali Creamin' Vanilla Cream Ale Creamsicle.
Yeah, this is so fucking good.
So good. That's what I'm drinking right now.
That one is actually Mother Earth. It's a brewery here.
Oh, yes. I was just about to say that, but you were like at the very top, Mother Earth Brew Company.
Yeah. There's one right by us, actually. We haven't been yet. You know, we need to do some local exploring in Nampa, but yeah.
Hey, look at that. I'm drinking a beer for you and a beer for me.
Yes.
Yeah. From where we're located. Very cool. Well, what have you been up to? We haven't seen each other in like a month.
I know. It really feels like that. And we recorded an episode with Hope on Popcorn, but we try not to take up our time with guests, like catching up. Yeah. And so I made some notes. Hang on, let me pull up my notes. Nice. Yeah, it's been busy. So went to Colorado for my best friend's wedding, Allie. It was amazing. Like the coolest wedding, very unconventional. Like the way that they set up the what's it called, ceremony and everything, and they didn't do the vows in front of people, but they did, you know, the person, the officiant, I guess. Yeah. And that's what you did for your friends. So did you have like a whole thing that you like read about your friends and like stuff like that?
We did. I did it all. Like, the, you know, welcoming of the guests, exchanging of the vows. I said my piece, then the welcome to the guests. We did like because my friend Mindy is Jewish, we did the glass breaking. I planned the whole thing. And then the couple signs off on it, will submit suggestions or alterations and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So cool. I didn't realize that that person, the officiant, did all of that until I was like talking to my friend about their officiant and how it seemed like there was so much work put into it. And just what she said was so like perfect for them and everything. And, you know, they're not religious. So like there was no mention of God in the like thing just because that's not them. And I just thought it was like really cool to be a part of like such an unconventional wedding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was really cool and fun. And in the process of that, we drove there, right? So it was like 15 hours one way. It was a big, long fucking road trip. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And part of the reason is the podcast that we listened to. So let me tell you about the podcast that I listened to. Because I'm so excited. I think I mentioned this actually in our Discord.
You did, and I started it.
You did? Okay.
I started it because you mentioned it, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So we listened on the way there. We listened to Bear Brook, which is a true crime podcast. And again, I've been saying this. I kind of haven't been able to do a lot of true crime over the whole time that we've had this podcast. Like I just kind of, it's a little too much for me. It's a little too dark in these seasons of my life. But this fucking series was amazing. It's like everything that you want in a true crime podcast. It took me so many different places, and it's such a like sprawling story that becomes about like, you know, it ties in like other cases and like, I don't know, groundbreaking shit in how they're like solving crimes. Like it was so fucking good. And it's also very obviously sad and terrible. And so it did kind of affect me after we got there. We listened to the whole thing and I was kind of like, couldn't sleep because I was like thinking about just this case and the people and but it was amazing. How far did you get?
I didn't get very far because I was listening in the car when I don't have the kids. So, don't have, you know, TT specifically. I'm on episode 3.
Okay.
So I think not very far.
Yeah. And I think it takes a few episodes. Like, I think I remember the first few episodes, I was like, damn, dude, I hope something's going to happen because like nothing's happening. But it's like a lot of setup for the rest of it gets fucking crazy, dude. So I'm so excited for you to listen to it and then talk to me about it.
I think that's a lot with a lot of true crime podcasts where in the beginning they're just like, there's this, but it might not be, and this, but it might not be. And there's a point in time where you're like, why isn't it? Okay, enough with the setup. Why might it not be? Tell me. And then they get into it.
Yes, finally. Well, this one is like, I'll just tell everybody kind of the setup. It's like in the 80s, these kids find these barrels which hold the remains of several people. It's like a woman and 3 young girls, basically. But they find one barrel, I think. And then like way later, they find a second barrel. I'm sure you've already listened to that part. And I'm not like spoiling a whole lot by telling you that. You're going to want to know that. Because I think the whole first episode, they're just talking about the one barrel. And I'm kind of like, what? I don't know. Give me information. And so I feel like.
Wait. Bear Brook.
Yeah.
Okay. Because this does not sound familiar at all. Okay. Are you. I just want to make sure.
You're listening to a different podcast? I
noticed it. Oh, was this season 1 that you listened to?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to switch seasons.
I think so.
I'm listening because the only one that popped up was season 2. And now, and I tried to go to season 1, but it didn't offer season 1. But now everybody, here's Felicia, who's acting like she doesn't know how to control electronics. It looks like Apple updated it. And when you click on season 1, you can switch between seasons, but they don't all display. You know how you can scroll and they'd usually all display? You said this? Okay. I have not. What? I was listening to season 2,
okay,
which was, okay.
Okay.
So I'm more excited now.
Okay, good.
No barrels in season 2.
Yeah. It gets fucking crazy, but that's all I'll say. And I will just also give you the little tidbit. I think this is all in the trailer also, so I'm not spoiling shit.
No, this is fine.
People.
That's fine.
But it's like part of what they did was like huge breakthroughs in the way that they solve crimes now and how it kind of ties into other crimes like the Golden State Killer and like, it's really fucking cool. Highly recommend. Yes. But I will not be listening to any more true crime for a while.
Okay, cool. I'll start that one. Okay. I'm 3 episodes into season 2 and it was, and it tells you right off the bat, it's just these, people were murdered and these guys confessed to the crime, but now they're saying, but maybe they didn't do it. And the community is split on if they did or didn't do it.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm excited to see what you think about this other one.
Okay.
It's fucking sprawling. It's a sprawling story. Anyway, okay, so that was the one podcast. On the way back, we listened to Wind of Change, okay? Which is a podcast about maybe, like, did the CIA help band the Scorpions write Wind of Change to bring down the Berlin Wall? That's the setup, y'all. What a fucking wild story. And it was also very good. Not as good as Bear Brook, but it was engrossing and listened to the whole thing. And it was really interesting. It was like a nice serial podcast that wasn't true crime, you know?
Oh, very cool. Yes.
Jade kind of also does not like the murder stories.
Yeah.
As much.
It's depressing.
Yeah. So that's what's been going on in my life. I'm trying to keep this short. I'm sorry. Also house stuff, you know, obviously every day is a house project kind of. I just put up a coat rack, like yesterday. So I've done it. Here I am. I've arrived. Jade's also mostly doing the house stuff. And my next project is I want to get some shade on this back fucking deck, dude, because we have some like chairs out there, but the sun beats down on our deck and the chairs for most of the day. So we need some kind of shade solution, but I need it to be cheap because we need to save as much money as humanly possible. I think I figured out a way to do it for like $250 though. I'm very fucking excited. So I made the plan. I showed Jade the plan, I talked him into the plan. He wasn't sure about it at first, but I sold him on it. So I ordered some shit and we'll be putting that together. I'm obviously going to need his help to do that, but yeah, it'll be fun.
Tawny's shady plan.
Yes. And then I'll pause there. I have a couple other things that I've watched, but I will let you tell me what's been new in your life, maybe before we get into show things.
All right. That's awesome. I listened to the wrong Bear Brook. We already established that. Did I tell you that I watched The Whale?
No.
I did.
Okay.
I was bawling.
I'm sure. It seems like it's a cry fest.
Wow. He did a really good job. It was interesting and heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I also watched Daisy Jones and the Six. We
Okay.
binged that whole thing. I have to say, I was not really thinking I was going to like it, and I ended up really liking it. And I cried, and it's satisfying. It's loosely based on like Fleetwood Mac and Stevie Nicks.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I very much enjoyed that.
What was that on?
It was on Daisy Jones and the Six, I believe, is on Netflix. Let's see.
I'm going to have to check this out.
Oh, I'm wrong. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And I really liked it. So it takes a long time for Daisy and the Six to come together. So just hang in there. It's not a bad story. It's an interesting story of, I really like stories like Almost Famous, that movie Almost Famous, where there's like these, or, oh my gosh, Bohemian Rhapsody. That's what it was called, right? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. I just love these, or the Elton John one. Anyway, how people are just regular people and they're like working real hard to become these stars, and how they become stars. I'm really into that. And so this was a fun one, Daisy Jones and the Six. I liked it. Everyone was telling me I should read that book, and I got the Audible book and started listening to it. And I did not enjoy the experience. And I think it's because it's like you see scenes from that time, but then you see a lot of interviews pop in from current day. It's all mixed together. So I didn't enjoy the listening experience. Maybe the reading experience would have been better, but
yeah,
it was fun. I liked it a lot. And me and Steve really enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. Oh. I'm going to definitely check this one out.
Okay.
I thought I knew what it was, but I don't. And I would never have guessed that it was about Fleetwood Mac or Stevie Nicks.
Totally. And you can Google like Stevie Nicks outfits, and you can kind of see where they're drawing the inspiration for some of Daisy's outfits.
This sounds incredible.
Yeah, it was super fun. I also watched Serial Killer Capital Baton Rouge. I'm sad it's called Baton Rouge because there's probably going to be more serial killer capitals.
Right. Yeah.
But this was very interesting that there was 3 serial killers in that Baton Rouge area at the same time. And so it goes through all the cases. And after I watched that, I will tell you, I watched it around May 6th. I took a complete break from true crime. I don't think I watched any true crime or listened to any true crime until last week. And so I had to take a break.
Nice work. You gotta step away sometimes.
Yeah. I took a break, and then Steve, he, I think, just wanted to watch his YouTube videos he was watching, but I was sitting there and he's like, you can watch true crime if you want. And I was like, oh, someone's telling me to watch true crime, so maybe I will. I put something on. We also watched just a couple more movies, Greyhound. And the thing about that, so it's about these World War II ships that have to cross the ocean, but were being sunk by German submarines. That's the nutshell with Tom Hanks. And I just want to say it blows my mind how vast that particular war is, and the Holocaust, given how many stories we've heard, books we've read, movies we watched to present day. And there's still stories that like I've never heard of. Mm-hmm. That are still new to us. But that was a really good movie. And we watched the Mario Brothers movie. We brought TT to see that, and that was cute.
Nice.
And then I finished 2 books, Tawny. I finished 2 books.
That's amazing. You're doing great.
You're
doing so good.
I finished Intercepts, and I loved it. And I hope they make a movie about this book. It was super good. Easy read. Easy in the sense of it was captivating. And I just kept going.
Okay.
And yesterday I just finished Light Through the Trees. So this is not a horror movie or horror book. Glendy Vanderaa. She wrote the book that I read right before that. Where the Forest Meets the Stars. And this book, I have to say, what a beautiful story. And it was so satisfying. Like at the end, it was satisfying, and that I needed that in my life.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And I started Tender Is the Flesh, and that is fucking disgusting and heavy, and we're in it, and I'm 78% done. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could tell by the name that it was disgusting. Thing.
Yes, it's a disgusting thing. But that's it for me. Besides, we got a pool. My daughter graduated, and
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yes.
I haven't been reading at all, dude. I really want to. I want to find another book, but like we talked about, that Manacled, it's ruined me, and I cannot seem to hang in and read anything since then. I am gonna lose our reading challenge this year. I'm already so far behind. I'm sure I can't catch up, but at some point, maybe the bug will like get me again. You know, I'll get bit by the reading bug, and maybe I'll make up some ground. But for now, it's not happening. Like I just cannot. I think it's all house stuff right now, but
Yeah.
I did watch a couple things. I haven't had a lot of time to watch stuff either, but the ones that I did watch was Ted Lasso. Finished that newest season.
Yeah.
God, I love that show. It's so good.
Me too.
And then I think it's called Queen Charlotte on Netflix.
Uh-huh.
Like anything Bridgerton, I'm going to eat it up, just so you know. Like I'm watching it. So it was nice to come back after our like road trip and have something to watch again, like in binge.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh God, this is so comforting. You know, this is my comfort zone, is just watching a show by myself, like while I'm folding laundry or whatever. And it was cute. I liked it. It was, if you don't like the Bridgerton stuff, I don't think you'd like it.
I've never seen it. So, but my daughters love it.
Yeah, it's cute. I like them in different, you know, on different levels. Season 1 I liked a lot better than season 2, but it was still good. And this one was different, very different. I think because it was Shonda Rhimes is like the writer. I don't want to call her creator because she's like drawing from books, you know, written by Julia Quinn. But I think this story is not something that Julia Quinn came up with for this most recent like story. I think it's like Shonda like taking this story in a you know, her own imaginative way. Maybe I haven't done any research, so I could be wrong, but. Also, Shonda Rhimes has a really great book called The Year of Yes. And so people should read it. It's great.
Nice.
I read it like a few years ago, but it's like all about her. She's like a super introvert and she started saying yes to everything and like how it changed her life. It was great. It was a good book.
Nice.
Anyway. Okay, so that's it for me.
Dude, lots of fun
things
stuff.
I watched.
Lots of fun stuff.
It's been busy. Busy summer.
Very, very cool. All right. Should we dig into this movie?
Let's do it.
All right. We are talking about, in case you forgot, because we had some juicy tangents and a lot of catching up to do. So we hope you enjoyed the ride. We're talking about Piggy from 2022. I watched it on Hulu. I watched the one that was English dubbed, and Tawny watched the one that was subtitled. And I wish I would have watched the one that was subtitled. I mean, I think the dub, they did a decent job. I just kept thinking I would have liked to actually hear the voices of the actors. So,
yeah.
The director was Carlota Martínez-Pereda. Carlota also directed There Will Be Monsters, The Devil's Tale, and Kinka. Let's see the cast. Laura Galan was Sarah. Claudia Salas was Maka. Carmen Machi was Madre or Asun. Julian Valcarcel. Sorry, Julian, was Padre or Tomas. Irene Ferrerio was Claudia. Fernando Delgado Herrero was Juan Carlos. And then Richard Holmes was Desconocido. God, this is terrible. Desconocido, the murderer. And then Camille Aguilar was Rosie. And then there was like cops and a lot of other people, but those were like the main folk. The budget was $2.7 million and the box office was $409,000.
Oh, okay.
That's what it showed. But now I always think of the director from Caveat saying that how messed up the numbers are that are displayed.
Yeah, they may not be totally accurate.
Mm-hmm. And it was displayed in euros, but I did the euro like conversion. Yeah, and it was 409,000.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 92%. IMDb gave it 6.2 out of 10. Letterboxd gave it 3.1 out of 5. This show, I did jot down, won some awards. It won the Goya Award and the Farouk Award for Best Short Film in 2019. And then if you go over to like the Wikipedia, it has a whole list. There was some for Best Actress, and it was nominated a whole lot. So it was nominated for a lot of things.
Okay.
And that is all I got for you. But you have an inquisitive look on your face.
I've been thinking since you mentioned this that I think I might have watched a trailer for this at the 2019 Idaho Horror Film Festival. And so I don't know if you have anything about that. Like maybe I'm mixing this up with a different thing, but I feel like I remember watching someone walk down the street like fucked up, like they were upset, and I remember seeing them at like a pool and people like making fun of them, but it's like these vague vignettes in my head, you know, that are all strung together to be like, I feel like I watched a trailer for the short back then in 2019, but it could have been something else. I don't know.
No, this sounds really, really familiar, because didn't Paige say that as well when we had her on?
I think so. I think we had talked about it. Yeah.
Let's see. Sundance Film Festival in 2022, just looking.
It didn't, like, the full movie did not play at the Idaho Horror Film Festival. I think it was just a trailer. But it looked different. Like, nothing in this movie, it reminded me of what I saw, but it wasn't exact. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
I would have to do some more research, because when I pull it up and look at their film festivals, they all look like they were 2022 and 2023. But that's absolutely possible.
Okay. Anyway, that's what I was just curious about.
And I did Google Idaho Film Festival and Piggy, and like it doesn't show them together. Not that it didn't happen. Maybe it wasn't even called that, you know, at that time. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that. Good question.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I'll do the 2 minutes with Tawny. Turn back now if you don't want this spoiled for you. Sarah is bullied by her classmates who all call her Piggy. She goes swimming at the local pool after everyone else has left, but her bullies steal her clothes along with her phone and towel, and she's forced to walk home in the sun in her swimsuit. A mysterious man at the pool witnesses this harassment, and on the way home, Sarah sees that he has picked up one of the bullies in his van. He leaves her a towel to cover up with before driving away with Claudia, who's bleeding in the back. Sarah goes home to hear that someone from the pool has been found dead and a waitress is missing along with the bullies. She doesn't say anything when questioned, but the police and her mom suspect she's lying. Sarah goes off when it gets dark to find her phone and the girls, since they had stolen it. She comes across the kidnapper again, who is clearly obsessed with her. She finds her way back home, but the kidnapper eventually breaks in and attacks her family before they both leave and go to where he's been keeping his victims. There, she finds 2 of the bullies alive and 1 dead. They plead for help, but kidnapper guy wants her to help him kill them. She pretends to, but attacks him, which causes him to accidentally shoot Claudia's hand off. Sarah bites the kidnapper's neck and he bleeds to death. She's kind of sad about it, which makes sense because he was the only person in this fucking town who was nice to her. She then points the gun at the girls and shoots their chains to free them before walking back to town. The end.
Fantastic. All right. So this is my pick. I watched it back in December when I was binging as many 2022 horror movies as possible. And it came back to my mind when we were doing romance in February, because we were talking about how romance horror is always vampires or zombies.
Definitely.
Yeah. And all the ones we watched were like vampires or zombies. Yeah. So is there something different out there? I'd like to see something different. And then this movie popped back into my head of, oh, here's something different. So, Tawny's face.
It was certainly something different.
It was certainly something different. Okay, Tawny, how did you feel about this movie?
You're nervous.
I am. You can see it in my face. I'm nervous.
I kind of fucking loved this.
Oh, I just got cold chills. I could not tell. I couldn't tell.
I don't know. I don't know what is happening in this movie. And maybe I had a very special experience. I was drinking when I watched it.
Okay.
But something about this fucking movie, I was like, I'm going to say it. I don't know if I want to commit to this yet.
Okay.
But I kind of feel like some moments of this movie, I was like, I feel like this is a fucking masterpiece, dude. Like, this is so good. There's something like so fucking great about this. And the thing is, like, I can't really put my finger on it. Like, I can say things that were great, but something about this, I don't know, just was so good. And like, I'm super excited for the research because I'm wondering if it's like one of those experiences where you like pick up on something, but you don't know what you're picking up on yet. But you just sense like I'm picking up what this person is putting down, even if I don't understand what it is. Right. And I think that's kind of how I left this movie is like, God, I don't know what that was like supposed to be telling me, but like I received that there was something there that was like awesome and good. And I don't know, like I think part of what was so fucking good about it is like I felt like I went on the journey that this director intended me to. Like all the way through the movie, I was right there with our main character. I felt for her. I cried a couple times. It was rough. She had a rough fucking go, dude. And yeah. But then there were other moments where I was like, it was like a little slow in moments. So like, I don't know. That's why I'm not committing fully to the masterpiece comment. And I felt like almost, I don't know, the end was so fucking crazy. I loved it. Like they really fucking held on all of that like gore until the end. Jade walked out of his room and was like watching the gore at the end. And I was like, I swear to God, this movie has not been a gore fest. Like you just walked out. It looks like a crazy movie. It's not that, you know? I don't know. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Good.
And so I'm excited for you to tell me more, but
well, we will have to go on this adventure together because there is not a whole lot of research. And I even like searched commentaries on Piggy. And I think just maybe because a whole bunch of people haven't seen it, maybe, or it's not, there wasn't a lot. There was 2 pieces of trivia on IMDb and then like 2, literally, that's it.
Okay.
And then just like looking commentaries on this movie, like what, so we'll be able to maybe do a little what we think it means. But that makes me very, very happy because I also love this movie. I really, really liked this movie. And I agree with everything you said. There was a part of it. That got a little slow. And I'm trying to remember when that was. It was more towards the end. I think there was just a part of it that was going on a little slow. I can't even pinpoint when it was, but I remember thinking maybe the movie could have been shortened a little bit. But I loved the acting. I loved the people. I loved the town. It's absolutely heartbreaking. These fucking bullies, dude. I liked it because it made me feel all kinds of feelings. Like, these people are assholes, just such assholes. But I mean, do they deserve to die? I mean, we could say, oh yeah, that Maka was a horrendous human being.
Totally.
She deserves to die. But I mean, really, that's not fair. And when you see her crawling out because the serial killer, part of you is like, yes. And actually, when I saw her, I wasn't like, yes. I was like, oh God, that's terrifying. But then, you know, she's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, maybe she should be nice. Yeah.
And then one of my favorite parts though was the love story.
It was weird.
It got me feeling all kinds of weird things.
Me too. I was like, why am I here for this?
Yes. Like, I wanted them to go off together, but he's a disgusting serial killer. He's like, yeah, he killed the bully girls, but he also killed that lovely waitress who was kind. And,
Right.
you know, the guy was a dick, but, you know, it's like he just kills people. But he's really defending her and like loves her for exactly who she is. And when they're in that, like out in the woods in that broken down house thing and that got like heated, I was almost like, are you going to make love? Like, do it. And then I'm like, but no, this would be very weird if you do it right now. But it was like this whole.
Also, the other thing that was weird about this that made, I was like, I mean, we got an age gap going. You know what I mean? Like, this is an adult ass man. This person is in high school. Like, this is fucking weird.
What if she's like 18 though? What if they're graduating? We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. But I was like, this is such an interesting perspective because you take this like person who would normally be a totally terrible person as a killer, but he's the only person who shows her any kind of shred of like kindness. I mean, her family is kind of nice to her, right? Like they're not super terrible.
Her mom is an ass though.
Her mom, very hard on her. Yeah, that relationship in particular is really rough. But like her dad was nice and kind, and you know, the little brother was like just a little brother. That's just what it is, you know, to have a child as a sibling. But you know, it was like you could see how this person would kind of be like, oh, maybe I will run off into the sunset or to your terrible warehouse with you because you're the only fucking person to be nice.
Yeah, and she didn't know where she was going, right? And she was conflicted. Like, she went with him, but then like, oh God, I loved that. Honestly, I loved it when she killed him. And we should talk about that, how she killed him. But then once he was dead, how she started screaming, no, no, no. Like, I could only imagine, sad. Like, you're doing the right thing by protecting even though these girls are assholes to you. Then probably you would have a reason to kill them, actually let them die, because they're going to tell that you saw them in the van and you didn't say anything. So it's potentially more trouble for you. But I think we can think that, but the majority of us are not these killers that would be like, well, you saw me, Claudia, so I'm going to kill you. But once he's gone, this was the only person that ever made her feel beautiful, valued, sexy, loved, appreciated. The only person ever in her whole life. And he's gone. But he should be gone. He's a serial killer, but it's very conflicting.
Yes. Yeah. And again, this is like part of what Jade caught. He saw none of this movie, but he saw like this last part and he was like, she's sad that he's dead. And he was like, why is she sad? I'm like, it's layered.
Yeah, it's layered for sure.
What I told him, I was just like, yeah, because I felt bad for her in that moment, losing him. What a weird position to be put in as a viewer, though. You're like, again, you're watching this serial killer who's killing people without remorse, even people who don't seem to have done anything wrong, you know, quote unquote wrong. Again, not that you deserve to die because you're a bully, because you're like fucking a kid or whatever. But, and you're like, oh no, he's dead. He's dying. He's dead.
No, can't they just get away together? But like, what does that getaway look like? I mean, he's going to go to a new town and he's a killer. So he might love her, but he's going to be like slicing other people up. That's no life.
I will say I never once did I think she's going to be a killer with him. Like she just, I don't know. Something about the seeds that they sowed very early in the movie made me feel like she's not a bad person. She would never do anything bad. So like at the very end, when she points the shotgun at her, I was like, no way. Like good on you for trying to make me think that she was going to shoot these girls. But no, I knew she wasn't. She also wasn't like incredibly nice either, though. You know, she was like, shut you down. It's up to you without your hand to get yourself out of here.
Yeah. I'm going to go catch a scooter ride with the hot boy.
Down.
You can find your way back with no hand, bitch.
Which I like. I like that little bit of something at the end. Me too,
because even Claudia, I mean, I get it. But she was like, you didn't tell her you're so fucking stupid. You're stupid. But I mean, I say that thinking though, If I'm sitting here in this warehouse thinking, oh, the police are looking for me because Tawny saw me in the back of the truck, then you get there and I'm like, you didn't tell anybody? You didn't fucking tell anybody? I don't know that I would be calling you an idiot because I wouldn't want you to be mad at me. I'd be like, Tawny, please get me down.
Yeah.
But see, this is a totally different relationship because we care for each other. This girl she was not the meanest one of the group, but maybe even because they were best friends. And then she chose the other group.
Yeah, I think this is something that was very interesting about this movie, actually. And it wasn't like a big part of it, really. But like the relationship between them, you get the idea that they either were friendly or they were friends a while back. And so she's like nice to her, the nicest. She's nice to her family. Her family seems to like this girl, Claudia. They order food from their butcher shop, whatever. And Claudia is kind of nice to her, but she does steal her stuff. But by the end, dude, it flips completely. I think this is like a really interesting commentary, or like, I don't know if it's a commentary, but it's like one of the things that I found interesting about this movie is the one that was such a dick just day to day actually ended up being nicer when she was put in a very stressful position. Whereas Claudia, the one who seemed nicer, was being more mean. She was the one who was like, you're an idiot, and like calling her names. And the other one was like being nicer. And I thought that was interesting in the way that, like, you know, people can kind of act nice, but how, you know, when push comes to shove, what are your true colors? And that girl was fucking, she chose her like shitty friends over Sarah for sure. Mm-hmm. But then really in a moment of distress, she was the biggest dick of them all in some way, you know? I
Even
thought that
not to stand up for her friend.
Yes. Yeah. There was something there that I felt like was a really, again, it's not really like the main point of this movie, I don't think, but it's like one of the like little sub themes that I found really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Friendship. And then that's a very typical also with kind of teenage coming of age, I don't know if they'd be called romantic comedies, but I think you know what I'm talking about. This whole like, I'm friends with the nerdy group, but then the popular girls want to be my friends. So now I don't hang out with I kind of snub the nerdy group, and they're sad. Like every kind of teenage situation here, Mean Girls, for example, or anything that whole underlying, but really you see her as someone who, oh yeah, she's probably the nicer of them, but is she to just totally turn on her? Maka was horrible. Oh my gosh. I just want to say, if you're a bully, you're a crappy human being and you should go to therapy, because I truly believe, I just can't even wrap my mind around why would somebody want to be so terribly cruel? I think even Maka, I know this is going to sound crazy, is equal to the serial killer. This girl is destroying. I can't even imagine making someone feel that horrible about themselves, taking pictures of them, posting on social media. Look at these disgusting pigs. She sees her swimming in that the pool area with the guy, the serial killer. She doesn't know it at the time, but he's swimming, and then Sarah's swimming, and she's like, "Oh, is that your boyfriend?" She can't even. What if he was flirting with her? Oh, she was gonna ruin that for her. Oh, you're such a pig. Oink, oink. Like being so cruel. I truly believe, and I tell my kids this all the time, if someone's bullying you, I don't even want you to feel sad about it, because that person is the person who feels the most insecure and ugly about themselves. Because how could you ever why would you want a human being to feel that way about themselves?
Yeah, they're often experiencing other types of abuse, probably, or have in the past, or have some, like something that they're making up for, right? Like just like wanting to control other people and feel in control, or feel like they're on top or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, it's totally fucked. I do think like for sure people who feel this way probably need some type of therapy. I think like kids, it's hard, because you're a kid, you're not emotionally mature. You haven't experienced a lot of life. I think it's even harder to get to a better place, I think, mentally and emotionally.
Yes, but if we're talking about kids, just for the people who haven't watched the movie but are still listening to it, these kids were like 17, 18, maybe probably around 16 could have been, but we're not talking about like 9, 10.
Yeah,
7.
But still, you know, like I look back and I did shit when I was like 19, 20 that I think about now and I'm like, God, that was a obvious weird thing that I was like trying to do to control other people. Not that I've ever been like straight up mean to people, but you know, like I did things that I now look back and realize that was an attempt for me to gain some control or feel like I was in control of the situation, not, you know, just being funny like I thought I was like trying to be. And so that's all I'm saying is like I think when you're a kid, it you know, even if you're an older kid, it makes somewhat of a difference. But yeah, I'm not like advocating for these kids. They were fucking terrible. They were so mean.
Horrible.
And like you're saying, like that Maka, I'm not sure that I know which one is which actually. Maka, was she the one with the yellow shirt?
Maka was kind of almost seemed like the leader of the group, the tall, long, dark hair who was like, oh, Piggy, oink, oink. Oh, eat your hair, eat your hair. It probably tastes like bacon. That is the main instigator. Then there was Rosie, who is at the end with Claudia, who kind of switched and wasn't being mean at the very, very end. That's Rosie. She is the smaller girl.
Okay, I was mixing them up. I thought Maka was, or Masa, I don't know how to say it, was the one at the end. And Rosie was the one that she found dead. So I mixed them up in my head.
Yeah, it's a flip-flop those.
Okay, got it. Yeah, no, she had like no sense of holding back at all. I don't know what to call that. Like she had like no chill. Like she just was so
she was cold.
Top, like, yeah, just so mean. When they were like getting her with that like net and stuff, that's what made me cry. I was like, this is fucking awful to be like experiencing this alongside our protagonist, and they're just being like relentlessly fucking mean.
Yeah, I feel like Claudia and Rosie were assholes because they didn't stand up, but I understand why they didn't as well. I mean, like I get the dynamic. I feel like they would have gone either way. Like, I feel like, let's say Maka moved and it was just them, they wouldn't have bullied Sarah as much as they did. Or
totally.
If Maka all of a sudden was not interested in bullying Sarah, they wouldn't have cared either. Just like Juan Carlos, the boy on the scooter, right, that they were all with. When she says, you bully me too, and he was like, no, I don't. But what he doesn't realize is when they come and show the picture that they posted making fun of the family, the obese family, and he laughs, that is participating in the bullying. So anyways, I just see that like her as the ringleader of the whole thing. And it was very sad. It when they took her stuff, oh my God. Okay, first of all, every human being in the world has these nightmares about showing up someplace without your clothes.
Yeah,
and
totally.
so she's having to go all the way home in this tiny bikini. And then those guys pull up and you know this would happen. Why, you know, would have been nice? Like, why can't, I would believe that if this situation was happening, that a group of boys would pull up and harass her would happen 99% more time than somebody would pull up and ask her if she needs help, get her in the car and drive her home.
Yeah.
I think my husband thinks I have a really, really fucked up view of the world, though, that I need to switch around. But anyway.
You would fucking hope. You would hope that there would be more of a chance of people asking. But if I just saw her walking down the street, I don't know that I would think something was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, but
she was just in her bikini and she was kind of running and she did look distressed, dude.
She did look distressed, but it was fucking hot. Like, this is something, a minor thing that I think they did well. They made me feel the way that it was feeling in that environment and in that place. I was like, it is so hot. And we went to Spain in 2018, 2019, and we went during like the hottest time of the year, and they were having a heat wave. So take that for what it's worth. But it was miserably hot, dude. I was dying. I'm a person who likes to be hot, you know, like I'm cool with that. But I was like, I was dying. I was so sweaty. I couldn't even like walk around, dude. I kept having to stop and sit down and just like rest because it was so hot. And the thing that sucked is like they don't have ice. So you couldn't get like a cold ice water or a cold beverage. Like you were just hot as fuck. And there wasn't a lot of AC. So when they keep showing them in their house and they have all these fans on and they like, everybody has like their shirt off, like they're cooling off in the house. Like I was like, this is probably how it is for most households in Spain, especially when it's really hot. And so if I saw somebody, she did look a little distressed in the way that she was walking. But if I saw somebody walking down the street in like hot as fuck weather in their swimsuit from the pool, I don't think I would think they're in distress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it would just be how they were walking. Are they just walking in their bikinis? Or she was kind of like grasping herself and like running.
God, and I was like, she's going to get so sunburned. And she did. That was awful.
Oh, man.
Yeah, those guys stop. As soon as that happened, I took a note in my notes that I was like, burn this whole town down.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see the whole fucking city go down.
Yeah, everybody is so, she does need to lose weight. Oh, that everyone's so bitchy and catty. Everybody is so bitchy and catty in that yucky little town. I was wishing in the beginning when they were like, were you at the pool? You're at the pool. That she just would say, yeah, I went to the pool. This is what the girls did to me. And then I ran home in my bathing suit. Did you see anything else? No. I ran home in my bathing suit. I did, I'm burned and those people are assholes and that's that. It was like, but I guess as a kid though, you might lie and just say, no, I wasn't there.
This brings me to one of my favorite fucking moments of this movie. I didn't bring my stupid notes in here, so I'm doing this by memory because I didn't want to stop again to go get them. But one of the first notes I took, just watching her interact with her family and stuff and people around town and whatever, I wrote down, God damn, like, can this girl not get a break? She can't do anything right. Like everybody's pissed about the way that she does fucking everything. So at the very, very end, when she's talking to Claudia and Rosie, and she's like, why didn't you tell anybody? She's like yelling at her, I think. Why didn't you tell anybody? And she says, I'm scared. I was scared. I can't do anything right. And I cried. I cried. And I took the note. I'm going to cry right now. I was like, how did this movie set this up so well? I mean, like, for me to like feel this way and then for her to say it out loud. So I totally fucking got it, dude. Like, yeah, of course, this person is so scared to open doors. Like, everything she does is wrong. And so I think you as a viewer, you watch and you go, why didn't you say something? Even if you wanted to protect the fact that these girls got kidnapped, why don't you say that you were there? She's just scared to make any kind of move, say anything, do anything, because everybody has punished her at every point in her life, no matter what she does. And I just was like, this, I don't know. It felt so poignant to me.
Oh yeah, that's beautifully put. I agree. Yeah, every single step of the way. And the only person, so you're so conflicted, you're, probably inside of you, you're like, I should tell, everybody is wanting to know, I have so much more information. But the only person that was nice to her and gave her, even though she saw that he had those girls in his van, she saw his face, he didn't attack her, he didn't hurt her, he gave her something to cover up so she can get home.
Yeah.
Who are you loyal to?
Yeah. Exactly. And even like, you would think if I tell anybody, they're just going to accuse me, which they do. Like several people in the town are like, what did you do? I think that's the first thing. What's his name? Is it the guy that the bullies are hanging out with,
Juan Carlos.
Yeah, he says, "What did you do?" I think to her about the kids, and it's like, how fucking dare you accuse me of doing something? But that's exactly what everybody would think, because they know that these kids have kind of bullied her, or at least like the other kids do. So if she admits they bullied me, it makes her a suspect. She has a motive, you know? So like I got why you wouldn't want to say anything, even if it's you know, embarrassing. But her like telling the cops too in the station about what happened, she's like breaking down and crying, and she's so embarrassed to even tell them. You, on one hand, you're kind of like, you shouldn't be embarrassed about this. This is not something that you did to yourself. But on the other hand, you've been in her shoes. You go through this and you're like, I fucking get it, dude. Like, you don't want to have to sit here and tell these cops your life and like how horrible it is, because then they're also going to pity you. And it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, you're just like, if you're overweight and they're teasing you because you're overweight and you're sitting here with these people and you're like, you know, they call me Piggy and they were oinking at me. This is embarrassing. This is so shame. This is like, you feel so much shame and embarrassment, and you have to share this with everybody that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then her mom. Okay, so my oldest is home from college and she watched part of it with me. She got home and sat down. And when her mom, so when Sarah got her period and they were walking home, and the dad pulled up, the dad of Juan Carlitos, and he's like, do you guys want to ride? No, she's got her period and she'll bleed all over your truck. Okay. My daughter looked at me and went, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I would kill you, Mom.
Dead.
Just
You'd
like,
be
dead, Mom. You just every minute to just humiliate her. And even like the mom, I do believe the mom loved her because she did love her. She just was really off kilter in her parenting because she wasn't what Sarah needed. You know, she needed to be more tender. She needed to be more kind. Instead, when Sarah's like, yeah, they tease me. They call me Piggy and you do nothing about it. She's like, the mom was more concerned that Sarah embarrassed her in front of the town. So she's like, here, eat some fucking iceberg lettuce, bitch. You know,
yes. Yeah, no, but I liked this part about it that she was like, she sucked from that perspective, like definitely like what I need from you as a mother in this moment or any moment. But I love that she was like a realistic, flawed character. And you did get the idea that she did care about her daughter, and she kept something I also thought they did well is like they kept putting them in situations that I think parents do well. And I know this from experience. I've done this a couple times where you go and you go do something wrong, you know, and your parent is pissed about it, but they are going to defend you to everybody else all day long until they get you back home. And then they're like, what the fuck did you do? You know, which again is kind of a selfish thing because it's more about, am I embarrassed? Do I look like a bad parent? But it's a realistic portrayal of like a human being. And so I loved that, even though it was fraught, their relationship.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, because she was really hard on her. She's probably hard on her son too. She's hard on her husband. She's really hard on her daughter. And then, but if anybody else, like Claudia's mom, came in and was saying anything, she immediately said, how dare you come to my house when your kids are little punks teasing my daughter? Get the hell out of my house. So she cared. And it was, this was so fantastic. There was something I was going to say and I totally forgot, but, this is what I was going to say. I know I probably said this in the past in some episode. I know I've told my kids, you kill someone, don't be looking to me to help you cover it up. Yeah, I'm not going to prison. I am not going to deal with the stress. I will turn you in. We'll go turn you in together. When you're on trial, I'll sit by your side. I'll visit you in prison. But I am not helping you cover it up. However, if I wasn't sure, I would do exactly what this mom did. If I found a towel that was some missing kids and there was blood on it, and I knew it, I had it, I would not turn this into the police right away. I'm just letting you know. I would not go to the police station. You should question my daughter because I found this towel. No.
Yeah, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what the situation is, and you got to figure it out.
I would bring it up to them, and I would ask them about it. And to anybody else, if they were like, we think your daughter's involved, like, no, she is not. Get the hell off my property. Hey, what's going on with this towel?
Yes.
That's exactly what I would do.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, let me see something. These are the 2 quotes. So let me read these and maybe it'll open up some stuff. So from the writer-director, Carlota, I wrote Piggy to confront my own fears, real life fears, because being a teen can be terrifying. And then in a 2022 interview with Fresh Fiction, the director described the reasoning behind the film's aspect ratio. I thought this was interesting. Something that is great about silent movies is that they tell a story visually, and I wanted people to really have the sense of the movie, that if you didn't hear the dialogue, you just saw the movie, you could understand it just by the visuals of it. That's also why we shot 4:3, because I don't know if I'm saying that right, but 4:3, because the body is in the center of the image. It's much more important than the surrounding landscape. It's more claustrophobic. It reminds us of the summers of your youth for those who are older, and for kids, it reminds them of Instagram. So there are more and more layers of meaning to it. So people who are older, who aren't really into Instagram, they can still relate, versus the young kids who are into Instagram can also relate to the horrors of this.
Interesting. I feel like I didn't watch it in 4:3. Like, it's like square. 4:3 is like old TV aspect ratios. It's almost a square rather than like 16:9, which is widescreen.
Oh, yeah. She said they shot it in 4:3.
I wonder if they changed it for viewing purposes later, because I feel like I watched it in 16:9.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
That's interesting. That makes me want to go check that out. I think definitely they talked about a lot of things: body dysmorphia, bullying, the impact of social media.
Yeah, like for sure.
Silent bullying, right? You can just post things and destroy people's lives.
Something I also thought was interesting with that is that, like, she goes through this whole thing, right? She's at the pool. She gets bullied. They steal her shit. She has to walk home. She's fucking accosted by these people. She gets home, takes a shower. She's accosted by her mom, who's like yelling at her for being sunburned. And then the first thing she fucking does is go get on the laptop to look at the social media. She doesn't like, it's like that tunnel vision of like, what's happening online about me, even though she experienced this like wild shit where she just watched people get probably kidnapped. She goes home and checks the whatever social media platform that she was posted on. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this reminds me of, my husband and I also watched Queer Eye, the new season, a couple days ago. And there was a woman who she like is excelling in her life. She's a principal. She has great relationships with the kids. She just got promoted. She's like just a lot going on, but she gained 70 pounds. And she says, this overshadows every moment of my life. Not feeling sexy, beautiful, comfortable in your own skin, feeling too big, too fat, not attractive, not the ideal that's put out there, overshadows every aspect of my life. I show up at school and because I'm good at that, and I make my identity being a principal of this school because I'm good at that. But other than that, my whole life outside of that, the clothes I wear, I don't want it to highlight any part of my body. I can't go on dates if I'm out. I'm not the woman that people walk up to because I'm too fat. This is like every moment of your everyday life. And that I'm just mentioning that because I think with Sarah, that is everything.
Yeah.
This is her whole life.
Yeah. I feel like they hit that home. Like I don't think I've ever seen a movie do as good of a job of this like realistic bullying and putting yourself in the shoes of somebody who's being bullied.
I totally agree. I wrote down here, it makes me so sad that all people, I was watching the movie, I said, it makes me so sad that all people aren't allowed to enjoy life just because they don't fit into this fake ideal.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like. She should enjoy life. She should enjoy swimming. You know, she waited, just these little things, like she waited to make sure everybody was gone so nobody saw her in her bathing suit. Think about that. That is a conscious decision. So I'm here, I'm hot, I want to go swimming, but I'm going to wait until everyone leaves so no one has to see me in a bathing suit because I'm fat.
Yeah. And I feel, oh, sorry.
No, that's it. It's just so sad. It's so sad and it's so real. And that's just, yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
100%. Like that you would make those, like you're saying.
Just get on your bathing suit and go swim because it's fucking hot. Just like everybody else. Everybody else with smaller bodies are hot and they're going to the pool. So why can't you?
Yeah, no, but it's like, yeah, it's a different mindset and making those decisions. Something I thought was interesting too was that the fact that he was there swimming after everybody left too.
Yeah.
And it clearly he identified with being bullied for being overweight, just like her.
Mm-hmm.
And so he knew from experience. And that was part of the reason I think why he, you know, identified with her and liked her. We get nothing from this guy. There's like little to no dialogue from him. But you, like they were saying about watching a silent film, you get everything you need to know throughout this movie. And so I think they did a really fucking good job of that.
Yeah, I agree. I just keep thinking of that moment in the cabin. There was like nothing. But there was
when they were like
much
tension
between them. It was like you almost get lost for a moment in what's really happening around, and you want these two characters to hook up, but then you remember what's happening in the scene, and that would not be a good thing. Time. And you find yourself going, oh, maybe he'll stop being a serial killer and just go off and they could be happy and in love and we can end the story that way, you know, which is not realistic. But
something else too about, what was his name? Juan Carlos. When she's having that discussion with him, I thought this was also just very, I don't know. It just showed the way that everybody was in this town. He was like nice to her for a second. He was like, here, smoke some weed. Yeah, like, I don't make fun of you. I deleted the video out of pity, which isn't great anyway. But then the moment that people come in and they see them talking and they start to accuse him, he flips on her. And it's like, that's her experience with every single person in this fucking town, is like, they pretend to be nice to her face. And then as soon as it doesn't serve them anymore, and she was so nice, she was like, I promise to you that if they accuse you, I will say what I know, because I don't want you to go down for this thing that you didn't do. She was so nice to him, and he was such a dick in the end. I was like, fuck this guy, fuck everybody, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Even right before that, they're talking and laughing, and then two guys walk by and go, hey, Juan Carlitos, and then he gets this, oh, like, I'm not talking to her. Hey, let's go someplace else. Yeah,
this was one of those moments where I was like, am I watching a masterpiece right now? Like, this movie is doing such a good job of making me feel the way that she feels.
Yes.
Because I think she catches that. She catches that slight change in his, like, demeanor. Ugh.
Can you imagine? Because he's embarrassed to talk to you because you have a larger body than him.
Yeah.
It's fucking it's lunacy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy. Two things I thought was funny about Juan Carlitos is she said, if they are going to take you down, I will tell them what I know. And he's like, okay, cool. What do you know? Okay, cool. She comes out drenched in blood. I need to ride to town. Hop on.
Yeah.
No questions.
I'd be curious to know what the interaction was in English. In Spanish, I think it was just like, I think he just said something like, you're okay now. everything's okay. I'm like, you're not going to ask any questions. You're not like, what happened to you? What's going on? Like nothing. He's just like, get on the back.
Yeah, that's right. He's a man of little questions.
Yeah. Is that how it was for you too?
Yeah, that's how it was for me too.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I was also curious about that line where she says like, I'm scared. I was scared. I can't do anything right. Was that exactly what it was in English?
That's what they said in English. Yes.
Okay. I felt like there was something about her having a period, and I just like wasn't. I was like, there's something here thematically, but I don't know what it is. Because why include it? It doesn't really affect the story at all, other than maybe going along with like womanhood, and I don't know. I was just curious if you had anything on that.
Let's see. So I looked up I Googled it, and there's something on highonfilms.com about it. It says, seeing Sarah treated like a child is distressing when it suits the grown-ups. The scene with Sarah's mother treating the topic of her menstruation with the usual misogynistic disgust is just one of the intricate details that makes Sarah's shame and loneliness disturbingly relatable. It's just another way for her to be humiliated. But you're right. Why? There's not a lot about that. I think that's the only thing that's coming up specifically about her menstruation. This poor girl cannot catch a break.
No, it's like at every turn, it's so rough. I think this is also like, I don't know about you, but I think this is where it started to drag for me a little bit, is like I started to get lost in the like, where are we in the day? You know, like there's like all these weird breaks kind of like, it's like they're working and then they're not working. She goes to the pool, she comes home, she takes a shower, then she leaves again, like comes home, there's more stuff, then she leaves again. Then she comes home, then she's questioned by the police, and then she comes home, and all of this is supposed to happen in like, I don't even know, like what, 6 hours or something? Like it feels like it should be happening over days, but it's not. It's happening within hours, and that made me feel like it was dragging because there was just this back and forth of like, not at home, at home, not at home, at home.
I agree with you. I think that's where it started to drag for me too.
Okay.
Until we get to the end and that scene of their love.
Yeah.
So when I don't know if you had the same experience, looked at the cover and saw this girl covered in blood, I thought it was going to be cannibalistic.
Oh, okay.
My daughter did too. She's like, oh, this is about cannibalism because it says Piggy and she has blood all over her. So I thought it was going to be cannibalistic, and then it was not, but then it was for a minute. And I was wondering about her biting out his throat. If there was anything, I don't know, maybe I'm reaching, but related to, you know, they're in the butcher shop meat and her eating, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is something there, you know? Or maybe it's just as simple as like under stress, because like we are shown many times in the movie that when she's under stress, she will go to eat.
Yes, I like this.
And so maybe that was, you know, she is distressed. She's trying to protect herself and other people. And maybe that's what it was. You know, he became stress food. I don't know.
And this became the ultimate how she calms herself down. She eats those cupcakes. She bites
protects
into things.
Herself.
Yeah. I always think we talked about this with that other movie with the tongue cutting thing situation, that I would do anything, bite their nose, bite their neck. This was super satisfying for me because I always think like, bite them, gouge them, do whatever you can. If they're holding you down, use your mouth. And she did. And I loved that.
Yeah, no, that was interesting. And I do feel like there's something there that we're supposed to pick up on, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. I thought we were headed for, based on the cover and what I knew about the movie, which was like, this girl's bullied. And then the movie starts and we see that she works in a butcher shop, and there's all these shots of like knives and chopping meat up. And meat hanging in the freezer and all of this. And I was like, I definitely thought we were in for a revenge film. I thought they were going to bully her and she was going to go like butcher these kids.
Yeah.
So when it was not that, I was kind of like, I love a revenge movie, but I was pleasantly surprised. I think I could have been here for the other movie, but this was different. And I liked it for that reason as well. That I didn't think we were going cannibal. I thought we were going just this bitch has access
Butcher.
to like, yeah, major knives and utensils to get rid of bodies, and y'all are fucked. And then they show her also like she goes hunting with her dad. She knows how to use a gun. Like all of this setup I thought was for she's going to fuck them up, which was a red herring. And I liked it. I mean, she knew how to use a gun and that came in the end minimally, but.
Yeah, that was good. I like that as well, because when I was watching it, my oldest was like, oh, come on. Oh, she's a real good shot. I'm like, oh yeah, she hunts with her dad. She's like, oh, because she wasn't there for the beginning. I'm like, yeah, they go hunting. They hunt the meat, I guess, some of the meat for the butcher shop. So. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to throw a last minute. You asked if I had anything else to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say something else.
Oh, do it.
We remembered way late. I love this scene at the end. We already kind of talked about the gore at the end. That it gets really gory, but like I think something that was really great is like there was nothing right up until the end, and it made the end, the payoff gore, so well done because it wasn't like a gore fest the entire time. But when they are in the altercation in the end and he shoots Claudia's like hand off, it looked so good. But like this was a very like you said this about our last episode. In some ways, it was like a beautiful shot because the shot happens. You don't see what happens yet. But her bracelet, because they have like a friendship bracelet, her and Sarah, that you kind of see early on. It falls to the ground in front of Sarah's face as she's on the ground. And as soon as that happened, I knew what was going on. And there was like steam coming up off. And you're kind of like, what is that? Dust? Is it steam? What? But then it happens a couple more times, and then you really see the blood start to hit the ground. And that was such an effective scene. And then you finally see her actual arm. They show her with her arm like blown open, and it was so gory and like effective.
Yeah, and you even got the sense of the pain in general, not only her arm that was all like blown off and the bone was like, it was so gross, but her whole body weight is now hanging from her wrist because she's not even holding on with her hand. She's just hanging from this chain from her wrist, her entire body weight. So the pain from her hand, the pain from the one that was blown off. Oh my God.
That was rough.
Yeah.
This whole back, I really feel like they paid it off, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and this whole, even when he was saying, let's kill this girl together. And then she turns around and tries to kill him. He holds her hand. He's like, no, they tussle. Eventually she does stab him in the side. And even when she does that, he still just like loves her.
Yeah.
Like he does hit her. And here's what my daughter said. She's like, Mom, I'm so bummed because I feel like I want them to just go and be together because no one loves her. But on the other hand, he hit her. And I was like, you're right. You're totally right. She did try to stab him. I wonder when a man is allowed to defend himself. I'm just kidding. And she's like, that's true. And I'm like, no, but I agree. You know, maybe if he was like, no, babe. You didn't need to hit her because no, babe, don't stab me.
Hey, you know what? I forgive you.
But even then, rewind a little bit more, and she was saying like, I don't want to die, and he's like, no, you're not gonna die. There were so many of these tender moments, but anyway,
yeah.
And I do have to say one thing. My daughter was laughing because when Sarah has the gun and she's lifting it up towards Claudia. And Claudia's sitting there. My daughter goes, the way her arm is broken, it almost looks like her bone is going, no, calm down. Because it's like kind of tweaked up. It is. And it's going, no. Calm down. Don't. But anyways, Yeah. And that brings us to where, we loved how she shot her down. She's like, figure it out, bitch. I'm out of here. Oh. All right. Well, if you're ready, Tawny, what do you rate this movie?
Oh, I'm going first, huh? Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
I can go first. I might amend after your thing. I think I'm going to give this a 4.
Ooh, wow. That's a great score for Tawny.
It was so good. It was so good. I really loved it.
I'm so happy.
I'm sad more people haven't seen it. It seems on the surface like it would be a forgettable movie, but I don't fucking think it is,
Yeah. I don't think it is either. When I was growing up, I was very, very conscious about how people felt about themselves and not contributing to people feeling bad about themselves. And I contribute all of that empathy to watching The Elephant Man when I was a little kid. And I feel this movie does that. She's obviously a beautiful woman. The Elephant Man was disfigured and a kind, lovely human being, but he was also disfigured. She's not disfigured. She's a beautiful woman. She is more voluptuous than the other women or the other girls that she knows. But I think it gives you that really, really deep sense of how cruel it is and how that just was so intense for me. How she couldn't enjoy just being a lovely teenage girl and just enjoy her life because every turn, everyone seemed like everyone was against her. And there was terror for her with these bullies around every corner, Yeah. It was just so beautifully done.
At the same time that this movie is very simple, it is also very complex. There's like all of these layers that I think that they really accomplished well. And they really made you feel with it just being like a very, unfortunately, this happens all the time.
All the time.
In every generation, for many people across the world, it's like a timeless story. And so for that reason, it's simple, but I really think they went in on the realistic layers of this. And that's why this is such a winner.
Yeah. Yeah. You parents out there, you know what? Even if you're not making fun of people who are overweight or anything, you're just concerned about your own weight and you're talking about your own bodies, just be very conscious of what you're saying and what you're doing. If you're actively trying to lose weight, maybe say, I'm trying to lose weight because I want to be healthy. I want to be healthier or whatever it is if your kids ask. And the only reason I say this is because I know TT, she has a little friend who's she is 9. And this was when she was 7, constantly worried about her weight, going swimming, what bathing suit she's going to wear. She was 7 at the time, not TT, but her friend. This needs to stop,
Yeah.
It's terrible. Anyways, that's a great score. Sorry. Sorry. I've had 4 beers. That is a great score. Anything else you want to say, Tawny?
No, I'm good for now.
Okay, I'm going to say something. I'm going to give this movie a 4.5.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think we're right about almost exactly the same based on how we score things. Because I was just looking at my 4.25s versus my 5s. And I feel this falls right in the middle of those.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What a good movie.
Woo! I'm so happy that I picked a movie that Tawny didn't. Not that I pick movies she hates all the time, but I'm really happy she didn't go, this was such shit, Felicia. I'm so happy. Awesome. Okay. So we are moving into June and we do not have a catchy title for this. We tried. I know I spent all weekend trying to find a catchy title. We don't have one, but here's the thing. We're moving into June. It's summer. We're going to do a month of found footage. That's it.
Fun found footage.
Summer fun found footage.
Fun in the sun found footage. It's a long title.
Fun
we won't use
summer
it.
footage. No, that doesn't work. You're right. Fun in the sun found footage. That's what we're doing. So we're going to kick it off with Tawny's pick, and it is Naroi. So that's what we're going to be watching next. So watch it and join along the discussion. That'd be great. And if you like us, please do follow us on Instagram at 2 Chicks and a Horror Flick, or you can search us on your favorite social media platform, and we will be there. What else, Tawny?
You can support the show by giving us a review, a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. Please do that. It helps us get found. But that's it. So we'll see you next week. And we hope you have such a good night. No nightmares.